Video, I want to talk to you about how to manage category meta fields for your product data. So here I am in the Shopify admin on a product page, and you can see that this product is in the chocolate category already. Now, if I scroll down farther on the page, you'll see this category meta fields section. So there are category meta fields and product meta fields. And the way the difference between them is product meta fields show up and are available for all products in your Shopify store. Category meta fields show up only if that category that the meta field is assigned to is the category that is selected for this product. So if I was to, for example, change the category for this product to nuts and seeds, save that, the categories down here will change. So now I see nut processing method and nut seed type. So the meta fields that show up at the category level for each product will change when you change the meta field or the category for that product. So let's change it back to chocolate. In some products, you'll see it's kind of a fine line. Is this chocolate or is it nuts? And you just have to make the decision on your end, which is the most appropriate one for your product catalog. But now when I switch it back to chocolate, I'll see that these 5 meta fields show up. Now we can control which meta fields display for which categories, and that happens inside of the Datify app. So let's go there. Here I am still in the same store's Shopify admin. I've got the Datify app pinned down here in the nav menu, so I'm going to click on that. And the second item that shows up here is going to be the manage category meta fields. Now you want to do this work of managing category meta fields after you've managed your categories. And I've already done that for this store. So I've gone through the category manager and determined what categories I want in this store and which categories I don't want in this store. So once that's done, you can go in and manage your category meta fields. So I'm going to open up that manager. And what it's going to show me is a category tree structure, just like you see in the category manager. I'm going to expand them all. Now, these are the categories that are assigned to products in your catalog. So let's go down to the chocolate category, which is right here, which has 157 of the products, most of the products in the store in this one category. Now, if I click on the little gear icon, it'll bring up the meta fields that are assigned to that category. Now, Shopify has a list, category by category. There's like 10,000 categories in the Shopify taxonomy. And for each category, Shopify says, here are the potential meta fields you could apply to that category. Now, in this case, because this is the most frequently used category, we've taken all the meta fields, the recommended ones, and assigned them already to that category. Now, Shopify, when you create a category, will sometimes automatically assign some of the meta fields and sometimes leave them as recommended. And that's why we created this manager for you to go through and look through all those settings and make the choices and change whatever you want to change if you want to change them. So let's, for example, look at the candy category. And it also has all the meta fields. But in this case, candy has a chocolate type. And we've got chocolate already as a sibling node to candy. We're going to put all of our chocolate in the chocolate category. So in this store, we're going to say none of our candy will have a chocolate type, because if it did, it would actually be classified as the chocolate category. So we're going to remove that one from the node. So now what it does is it opens it up here in this view where I've got to go ahead and remove the chocolate type. It gets a little bit confusing here, unfortunately, but Shopify doesn't allow us to do this any other way. So here I am, I'm looking at the chocolate type meta field, the category level meta field. And here I can see it's assigned to nuts and seeds, candy, and chocolate. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to say I don't want it assigned to candy. And I also don't want it assigned to nuts and seed, because all those we're going to put in the chocolate category in this store, right? A different store may choose to have its chocolate covered nuts show up in the nuts and seed category. But in this store, we're making the decision that any chocolate covered nuts, just as an example of a product, we're going to put in the chocolate category. So we're going to hit done on that and save. So like I said, that's a little bit confusing of a step, but unfortunately it's the only way Shopify allows us to take that action. But now I can see my chocolate type is no longer assigned to candy. And while I was doing that, it's no longer assigned to fruits and nuts also, or nuts and seeds. So now I hit done on that. And if we go into a product that is tagged as candy, let's actually do it this way. It's easier to get there. So I'm going to go to the candy here. I'm going to click on one of these. And I can see that beer brittle is classified under the candy category. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the product list and go to beer brittle, just to show you that the Metafield is not there. So this product is in the category of candy. And if we scroll down to the category Metafields, you can see that the chocolate category Metafield is no longer there. So what you want to do in the Metafield manager is go through the whole tree structure here, and we put the little gear icon next to any category that has products in it, and you can click on it and see what is assigned and not assigned. So here we are on greeting and note cards, and maybe we want to have a celebration type like thank you, birthday, anniversary. So we're going to add that. Now in this store, where we don't have that many gift cards, we probably don't need all the other elements here like color and style. A card store might go that detailed in their specification of that product data. But here in a chocolate store, we're not going to go that detailed. So when I'm done with that, I can just say done, and then we're good. And I can move on to the next category. And category by category, you can look at the metafields that are already assigned. These are category metafields, which, like I said, is defined by the Shopify product taxonomy. So they've got that whole list of potential metafields for the coffee beans and ground coffee category. And you can look at them and say, yeah, I want that or I don't want that. Add and remove them from each of the areas. So that is managing your categories and how they're assigned. Sorry, that is managing your category metafields and how they're assigned to categories. And remember, you want to do this step after you've gone in and managed your categories inside of the Datify app, which is why we've got manage categories as the first element. Once you're done with that, go ahead and then click on your manage category metafields. And when you're done with those two steps, as you go in and out of products inside of your Shopify experience, inside the Shopify admin or however else you're engaging with your products, you'll be able to choose the right categories. And when you do, those metafields will show up and you can start accepting or adding to the values that are in those. All right, good luck with the Category Metafields Manager.